I remember when I was wee, the library used to seem like this amazing place. One of my earliest memories of a library is actually from Beauty and the Beast, which is obviously dodgy now because he holds her captive. But the the wonder of him introducing Belle into that library, it's this like massive grand room. Like I remember that being one of my earliest introductions to a library. And then when I was wee, my mum would take me and my sister to the library, and we just get to spend ages looking for the books that we wanted. I'd usually end up picking like just the next Jacqueline Wilson book I hadn't read, but that's not the point. But I think going through school and education, you sort of lose your love for the library. The library becomes this place you have to go. And I remember when I was doing my undergrad, we'd go to the library until whatever time in the morning, go home, have a shower, and then go back to the studio the next morning. And I think I definitely fell out with what a library is, and it becomes this sterile institutional space when actually that childlike wonder of a library is sort of what I want to get back to. And I think having been at the archive for, this will be my 10th week, the last week of my placement, I've come to see wonder in a library again. My first day at the archive, I was in Alasdair's library, which is still in original order, with another student there, learning how to catalogue. And the first thing that they said to me was through like this massive smile. It was like, "Have you seen Moby Dick?" And then they point to a shelf, and it's a copy of Moby Dick that's split in half, but the two halves are on the other side of three other books. And this library that is somebody's personal library holds quirks that are not intentional. They're not put there for any certain reason. Like, you are in a space that is somebody's personal working library. This is a space that somebody used to spend their time in, and these are the books that they chose to buy or were gifted. I can see the joy of all the placement students or creative commissions when they spend time in that room and they just look around and they're surrounded by all these old books, some new books, some duplicates or multiples of the same book. But there's a certain feeling in the library that is close to that childlike joy that I remember associating with libraries. Preserving someone's personal library is not an easy feat by any means, but I think this is showing how important it is that this was kept and that is looked after in the way that it is, because it's just inspiring more and more people to feel comfortable in a library. And it makes me look at my IKEA little cube that's got not even a fifth maybe of the books that Alasdair had, but the books that I do have, I've chosen to have or I've been gifted, and it highlights the importance of that personal library. These shelves of references that you can always turn to or find comfort in or find inspiration in.